U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is seeking to steady strained ties with Europe while firmly restating Washington's priorities. This as he moves from Munich into a high-profile tour of Central Europe. Rubio, who is on his two-day visit to Slovakia and Hungary, outlined U.S.'s expectations from Europe.
We don't want Europe to be dependent. Now, we're not asking Europe to be a vassal of the United States. We want to be your partner. We want to work with Europe. We want to work with our allies. We want to work in cooperation with you. And our point has been and continues to be, the stronger you are, both on an individual basis in terms of countries and collectively as an alliance, the stronger the members of NATO are, the stronger NATO is.
Rubio did not speak of Trump's remarks to annex Greenland in Munich. Rather, he toned on a conciliatory aspect, stressing that Europe and the US belong together and that Washington expects Europe to be strong. While he offered few specifics, no direct reference to Russia, NATO or the war in Ukraine despite his meet and greet with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Rubio further argued that the post-Cold War global order has reached its limits. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz seemed to welcome the thought. While urging Europe to strengthen its defenses and repair trust with Washington, he also cautioned that even the United States cannot lead alone in a fractured world.
A gap, a deep divide has opened up between Europe and the United States of America. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has said this here in Munich a year ago. He was right in his description. The culture war of the MAGA movement in the United States, is not ours.
Rubio's speech garnered reactions from America's home delegation as well. California Governor Gavin Newsom said Trump's attack is uniting Europe.
US Secretary of State Marco Rubio came to the Munich Security Conference with a message. The United States wants to ally and partner with Europe. Several years ago, such a statement would have seemed obvious. But after Vice President J.D. Vance's verbal attack berating European allies at last year's conference, President Donald Trump's threats to use force to take Greenland, part of NATO ally Denmark, and the White House sometimes pushing positions closer to Moscow than Kiev during peace talks in Ukraine, this time it was a message Europeans were relieved to hear. But even though his speech had a softer landing, the message was similar to Vance's delivered a year before, setting out the Trump administration's intent to reshape the transatlantic alliance and push America's priorities and view of the world. Although Rubio didn't mention Greenland in his speech, Denmark's Prime Minister suggested she was wary the crisis has passed. And European leaders, including Britain's Keir Starmer, warned about becoming complacent. They invariably agreed that Europe must do more to boost its own defence, not only to deter the threat from Russia, but also to de-risk the relationship with the United States.